Deputy John Brady, who has 4 minutes.
Thanks, Les Corla. And can I just say at the outset that I'm bitterly disappointed that the Minister for Health himself isn't here, because the issue on which I am raising, Purple House Cancer Support Group in Bray, it's in his own constituency. It's an issue that he's well aware of. So can I just put that on the record first and foremost. Minister, in Ireland, 1 person every 3 minutes is diagnosed with cancer. 30,000 people are diagnosed every single year, and this is due to increase to 40,000 come the year 2020. Thankfully, there are over 150,000 cancer survivors in Ireland, and by the year 2020, again, 1 in 20 people will be a cancer survivor. And cancer support groups right across the entire state play a critical service. In Wicklow, we have a number of cancer support groups in Arklow, Greystones, Rathdrum, West Wicklow, and indeed Purple House in Bray. The public in Wicklow are fantastic for putting their hands in their pockets to help fund these organisations. Unfortunately, that can't be said of the government. The number of people seeking and getting support from these groups continues to grow on a daily basis. In 2016, Purple House had more than 1,200 people visit their cancer support centre in Bray and the Outreach Support Service in Dunleary. They provided 1,729 cancer support sessions. Their team of counsellors delivered 212 professional counselling sessions. 2,590 calls were made to and from their telephone support line. 42 children attended camps and workshops for children directly affected by cancer. And Volunteer Hospital Transport Service provided 320 trips for chemotherapy and radiotherapy treatment. Purple House Cancer Support works in partnership with the HSE and all existing medical agencies and receives the majority of referrals from the psycho-oncologists, social workers and cancer nurses in various hospitals and indeed GPs. Purple House Cancer Support Services not only serve the needs of the people living with cancer in the community, they also complement the implementation of wider government policy on social inclusion, health promotion and strategic cancer supports. They are an integrated part of the primary care system and regularly receive referrals from the primary care teams in the community. Unfortunately, Minister, since 2011, HSE funding has decreased and stagnated for Purple House cancer support. In 2016, Minister, the cost of Purple House providing the excellent services and supports was €311,036. Over 77% of those costs are raised directly through fundraising. And Minister, that's neither sustainable or secure that only 23% of funding to Purple House comes via government, via the HSE. In July 2016, negotiations began between Purple House and the HSE with a view of securing sustainable funding for the survival of Purple House community cancer support services. And extensive work was carried out by Purple House in preparing a business case. Many meetings were held with senior HSE personnel in preparing a business case to be submitted to the Minister for Health, Simon Harris, and it was. An application for funding has been made and unfortunately it appears to have hit a brick wall. So can I ask, Minister, will support be given to the application by Purple House to put them on a sustainable funding level? And can I ask that question first and foremost and get the response?
Thanks. Thank you. And again, Laskin Corla, thank you very much for allowing me the opportunity to read into the record the reply from Minister Harris, who unfortunately cannot be here today. I welcome the opportunity to speak on behalf in relation to funding in relation to the public Purple House Cancer Support in Bray. Purple House Cancer Support is a registered charity which provides support to those given with beyond cancer groups such as Purple House, emphasise quality of life after treatment. I'm aware that Purple House plays an important role in supporting patients who have received a cancer diagnosis, particularly in regard to the provision of information, assistance and psychosocial support. The HSE provides a grant to health agencies and other organisations, including those through national lottery funding. I understand that Purple House received an ongoing financial support from the HSE. However, they raised the majority of their money through fundraising themselves. In the recent years, greater strides have been made in regards to treatment outcomes of cancer patients. My department is very focused on improving quality of cancer care through the reorganisation and expansion of services. We have moved from the fragmented system of care to one and consolidate cancer treatment in larger centres with multidisciplinary care and decision-making. We recently launched the National Cancer Strategy 2017 to 2026. The overall vision of the strategy is, together we will strive to prevent cancer and to work to improve the treatment, health and well-being experience and the outcomes of those living with and beyond cancer. There will be particular emphasis on reducing the cancer burden, providing optimal care, maximising patients' involvement and their quality of life, and enable and assurance changes. Purple House Cancer Support contributes to the Cancer Patient Forum, which was established to provide patients' input to development of the strategy. It is expected that the survival rates will continue to increase due to a combination approach of screening, early detection and important treatment. Indeed, the recently published annual report of the National Cancer Register records a future increase in cancer survival rate, with overall 5-year cancer survival now standing at 61.1% for all tumour case types. There are now 160,000 cancer survivors in Ireland, and it is our aim to maximise the quality of life for those so they can return to a normal life as soon as possible. The Minister for Health has made it clear that he wants to see the rollout of the services to support people living with and beyond cancer as part of cancer strategy. I understand Purple House have made a submission in relation to which is currently being considered. I know the Minister is in contact with Purple House and recognises the valuable role of voluntary organisations like them in supporting cancer patients throughout their cancer journey. And I will refer back to some of the issues the Deputy raised.
That the Minister isn't here himself. And what we don't need here is backslapping on Purple House, congratulating them for the fantastic work they do, because the community in Bray and the greater area know exactly the fantastic work they do. What they need is actual financial support from the government. The HSE, hospitals are referring patients, cancer patients, back into Purple House. They're bursting at the seams. They want to be able to focus on the excellent work that they do, providing the care, the guidance, the counselling services. They want to focus on that rather than struggling to keep their doors open, out shaking buckets on the street. Now, unfortunately, what we have from the Minister is a non-response. Because I've been in consultation with the HSE, and they're saying now that they're waiting on the National Cancer Control Programme to come back with recommendations as to what will be rolled out in terms of funding for cancer support groups. And it's only at that stage will funding for Purple House be considered. Now, unfortunately, it's going to be at least 12 months. More than likely 2 to 3 years before there's any recommendations coming out, because they're waiting on the appointment of a clinical lead before any recommendations, before any deliberations, before any discussions can even take place. So can I ask, in the Minister's absence, and maybe you can relate to him, what we need here in the national plan coming out from the HSE, the 2018 plan, the service plan for 2018, we need specific funding for Purple House. So can I get that commitment? Short of that, can we at least get interim funding for Purple House to sustain them over the next, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months, whatever it takes, until the recommendations come from the NCCP. It's not fair that organisations such as Purple House have to rely on voluntary contributions, on bucket shaking. So can I get a more detailed, comprehensive response and hopefully more clarity from the Minister?
Minister to respond.
Thanks very much, Chair. Cairn again, I have to reiterate to the deputies that unfortunately the Minister can't be here and he would like to be here, so I suppose I'm asked to take the topical issue on his behalf, and I have noted many of your concerns. Look, no doubt in my mind and in anybody else's mind, organisations like Purple House, not only in Wicklow but in my own area, do wonderful work. They're people filled with compassion, people who deal with individuals, adults and children on a daily basis who are recovering or in recovery from cancer. And funding is one of the main issues that all of them have issues with. And there's no doubt in my mind, knowing the organisations I know, that the support that they get on the ground and the service that they run could not be sustained only for the contributions from people who are voluntary workers and people who go out and fundraise for them. I would like all organisations like Purple House and others in my own area to be funded directly through the HSE and the department. But unfortunately, that isn't the case at the moment. However, in saying that, I will go back to the Minister and relay the concerns that you have outlined. And I agree with some of them, I have to be honest with you. I think you've made your point very clear about Purple House, and I will ask him to reply directly back to the Deputy.